Konbanwa minasan, kyo wa suiyobi senjo desu. Watashi wa Paolo desu. Garrison Archangel no producer. And that was my traditional Weeboo intro. Hi everyone, this is Wednesday Warzone, and this is Paolore of the Garrison Archangel team. And a lot of talk has been happening on Discord. We've been leaking a lot. So for you guys who are watching this on YouTube or coming over from Facebook and Twitter, this actually is an update of sorts. And also today we've announced that we are releasing the game for early access on March 28th with a sale price of $15. So head on over to our Steam page. It should be up also on our Facebook and Twitter pages, where you can see that we've announced the actual release date of the game. So this update video is supposed to show a bunch of new mechanics and the updates of the game, and we haven't really been able to show you guys the new weapons and how they work in action, how they perform. And we've leaked several mechanics changes on Discord, which I'll also try to answer here. So for one thing, I'll start with the speed type builds. Everyone knows that in this game there are three base stats. I guess if you don't know, if you're new to the game, there are three base stats you build your body around: speed, strength, and armor. So speed gives you the high base movement speed, and also a very increased boost capacity. As you can see, I'm flying for more than 20 seconds. So you guys in the Discord channel who've been playing the demo for a while, if you're a speed type build, you get to boost for longer. Okay, that being said, I'll move on to the weapons. It seems I have entered a mirror match, so I'm fighting myself. The weapon I have on my left is called the old Targe, but we've decided to change it into a throne type weapon. So if you press the trick button, it throws the weapon like a boomerang. So as you can see, I'm fighting myself, so that's what's happening. The other weapon is the Cytec, which we featured in an ad early on last year. It's a close range weapon, so I can use it to melee attack, but I can also use it to throw. Basically, its entire gimmick is throwing. And I think I've covered this in another video, but I am now showing what kinds of builds you can do. The guys at Discord heard of Alcatraz, so I made the speed version of Alcatraz. Alcatraz was a theoretical mech we made to show people what kinds of presets we can still add in the game. The back weapon I have is the homing laser, which I showed off in the trailer, but none of you have seen it in action. I guess I'll restart the game so we can see. Oh, I won anyway. Oops. So that's also the new post-game screen, which will replace our old victory screen. So it's a sign of things to come. So you guys will see a lot of changes come EA. So back to the homing laser. When you hold it down, it's like the swarm missile in that it releases a single blast, a single projectile per tick. But this projectile operates differently, that you can see how it moves. It's more zigzag rather than curved. And the fact that it doesn't deal stab damage. It only deals armor damage, and it deals really low armor damage. So it's really just there to pad out, because it's hard to evade. It's just there to give you easy small damage, or to force enemies to think whether they're willing to just take all that damage or waste boost trying to dodge all of it. So right now, it's really just a weapon for annoying enemies, I guess. But it's good to force enemies to think and to keep them on their toes. And on the shoulders, I just have standard rapid weapons, rapid missiles. So you can now see how my build works. Actually, the AI is showing it for me. Because I am fighting myself basically. So, and yes, on top of the speed stat I was discussing earlier, I actually have a lot of boosts, so I'm actually dodging more often than, let's say, a regular balanced build or a armor or strength build, which I'll show now. I'll change my mech. So I'll be now using the armor type build. The only new weapon you'll see here is the long lin shoulder plates. Long lin is roughly translates to dragon scale. And the armor stat is now the sole decider of the stability derived stat, which we all love from the demo. Before, stability used to be a shared stat between strength and armor, and we found that we needed to isolate certain derived stats from the game to their base stats, because we found that extremes actually had more advantages over balanced builds, because they shared a lot of stats that the game ran on. Like, stability used to be shared between strength and armor, so strength builds and armor builds were all stability monsters, and then strength builds also had lots of damage, while the armor builds had lots of HP. Now that we've decided to isolate certain stats to certain derived stats, such as stability, boost capacity, to specific stats, the extremes of each stat still have a distinct advantage, a really strong advantage, but now they feel the absence of the other stats a bit more. Whereas in the older version of the game, such things weren't really felt, because, for example, if you wanted to be a stability monster, you could be armor or strength. So being either already gave you lots of stability. Now, if you were strength, you also had the capability to gain the burst speed, which it shared with speed. Burst speed was not in the demo, but we were developing it, and we found that we had to isolate burst speed to strength, and then speed has to have its own thing, which is the boost capacity. Now, there are still stats that rely on strength, particularly because of load and how much weapons and how the bonuses gained from being underweight and the penalties you gain from being overweight. But now, the strong stats, such as having a larger boost cap and thus being able to dodge more often, and resisting attacks so that you can get your attacks in more often, are now separated from strength, and they become the domains of either armor or speed. So that being said, I've shown off the benefits of armor, which I was just powering through the enemy's attacks and just landing my attacks because he wasn't stopping me. I will show off the Longlin shoulder tackle. I think I've shown it in a previous video, or was it on Discord, but I'll show it anyway. So here, so as you can see, I charge forward at the enemy. It's cooldown based, but I have armor. I have armor when I do so. So like this. Whoops. But the enemy dodge because it's insane AI and it cheats. Anyway, so oops, wow. For a bulky build, he has a lot of boost. Okay. Okay, you're overloaded. I will hit you. Ugh, he dodged even that, man. So as you can see, on top of the stability, armor also gets a lot of health as per the old build. And having a large stability isn't necessarily good, because it means that you have a larger threshold for taking damage before you destab. And if you've noticed, actually I've been showing it in the video, the destab state has been changed a bit. If I destab, I actually fall out of the air for one. So there, and I can wake up. On wake up, I actually have a slight invincibility, so I'm able to attack the person who knocked me down. I can surprise him. There are actually several options I can do from there, but I'll change my mech so that I can go on to talk about what strength does, because I've been going over the mech's stats. So I will move to the strength, and I will go back to talking about the knockdown, the new destabilization knockdown options you have Whereas before, this stab was just like a force reset, so you are invulnerable and now you can move again. Now, if I get knocked down, so I'll just wait for him to knock me down. Come on, man. Oh, the AI reached Zen again. So as you can see, the enemy AI, you can either cancel out, which was an old option, or we have a new function, which, come on, knock me down, man. Knock me down, man. Oh, okay. So if I'm down, I can either wait to stand up. Oh, it looks like I'll kill him before it's over. Dead. Okay. So as you can see, strength is pretty straightforward. It's I get a lot of melee damage. I get to carry more stuff, and if I carry more stuff, there's a bunch of other stats. For one, there's the boost efficiency. Actually, if I'm carrying less, my boost is actually cheaper. So even if I have a lesser boost capacity than a speed build, I can my tick-based costs and my dodge costs, I can actually be cheaper, assuming I have enough of this bonus, which it isn't actually large. At max, you can have 50% cheaper boost costs. So theoretically, if you were like only using fists and nothing else, you can boost more often than fully loaded speed build. But then you wouldn't be able to really maximize the fact that you're a strength build, because fists deal token damage. They don't deal like the damage of the Dominus, for example, or the damage of other weapons. Another stat that's affected by a low load ratio is the stability threshold, which in the old demo is always at 50%. But now, if you build your mech, with excess load, I had to pause. Oh no, that would get me banned in tournaments. Or I'd lose a round, actually. That's the rule. So, okay, we're still working on the new D-stab animations, but basically, there are new states to the D-stab now. It's a little more dynamic than the old game, which was, if you D-stab, it's either you wait it out or you dodge out. Now you can dodge out, you can wait it out, and waiting it out actually gives you a bonus. Actually, dodging out too early is bad. And I have yet to show you the third option. Okay, so if I'm knocked down, I can... darn, I was too late. Anyway, I'll end this guy. Oh no, he ended me instead. This is pretty bad, Paolore. I'll show the new burst option you have if you're knocked down. So I'll have this guy knock me down. Knock me down, man. Okay. So if I'm knocked down, I can do this. If you notice that energy glow, that energy glow is actually an attack that pushes away the opponent. So if I'm knocked down, I just have to input any attack command, and then I'll awake with that burst glow, which pushes away my opponent. So rather than dodging out, which costs boost, you can use that burst to push away your opponent, but it has the weakness of an actual attack, which is the recovery. The recovery on miss, and well, yeah, basically that. Basically the weaknesses of a melee attack, which is on miss, you go through the animation, and basically if you don't cancel out, you'll get punished. So, man, I keep getting wrecked. So it's one. You now have three options if you're knocked down. You can cancel out. You can wait it out. If you wait it out, you actually get some iframes, lingering iframes until you enter a command. So you can really mess up your opponent. You can dodge out early, which has been there ever since, but Dodging out requires you use boost, so everyone knows how important boost is, but you now have that option. Oops. Oh wow. Nice combo, bro. I guess let's head off of that. I'm not used to having so little life and then fighting an enemy with large damage. Oh no. This is not an excuse to say I suck, okay. I mean, the enemy is not insane, so he just dodges. I think I've covered almost everything. I'm not able to show the garage right now since we're still working on that too. But once EA drops the garage, it's almost done actually. Not for this video. We also weren't able to show you all how we minimized the map to address the issue we had in a previous tournament where Blitz Airmaster was just able to run because the map was so large. With the smaller map, even if we felt that even if we gave a lot of boost to speed types, because of the smaller area they can run off to, they don't have much area to run, so they need to still space out how they use their boost. So I'll go back to using the speed build just to, I guess, show an idea. Okay, so I'll use the inner ring just like Zephy showed us on her Twitch. So as you can see, I'm not able to just run away. The enemy is always at my face, so... Oh, he pushed me out. And as you noticed, normally that would be a death sentence if you used to play the demo in a competitive setting. What I just did was basically it's wasteful use of boost. But because I'm a speed build, it's more forgivable for me. But the offset to that is that I deal less damage. Because I can't carry more, I have a very weak armor, very weak stability. Anything can push me over. So that extra boost becomes a requirement for me to use at all times. So now if I'm overloaded, my one advantage is gone. But if I recover, that's what I meant by waiting it out and not spamming boost on wake up. I actually get all of that back. And boost cancelling is useful, like I said, to be able to pull off a lot of the stuff, because a lot of attacks actually have recovery. So speed builds are able to do a lot more things that builds with lower boost capacity can't. So they're able to cancel attacks more, which I guess is more useful for ranged weapons. So as you can see, that has a long recovery, but I can cancel and just fire. So I can do this. Oh, I ate that. And see, the enemy's overloaded, but I still had some boost to spare. Oh. Okay. So it's still really gonna be hard for a speed guy to win against like a superior armored guy or a superior strength guy, because a superior strength guy can kill him off the bat, and an armored guy is just a slog to fight. But as you can see, I have more flexibility with my actions, so I just have to watch my boost like always, but I have a lot more to play with. I can afford to screw up or be a bit decadent in how I spam my boost. Although I'm losing here, it's not really a good indicator of what we feel speed could do with a lot of boost. We're also still gonna change how certain ranged weapons work. A lot of the stuff here is work in progress. Garrison Archangel has been a work in progress for a long time, and it's really a big deal now that we're moving into early access, and it's all thanks to you guys as usual for helping us out. And I hope you help us complete the game by buying early access and see more of the game that we couldn't show in the demo. And we want you to experiment with all the builds and all the mechanics we've changed, and to, I guess, just try the game, have fun with the game. And we love the passion of the community. We're a bit tight-knit. It's actually really funny in Discord how admittedly I don't really go around there and manage it as much, but I like listening to everyone. And the few times I do go on there, everyone's so they're so passionate. I bring forward an idea, there's already people defending and arguing about it. I mean, argument is fine if I can see more sides to an issue, and I'm actually touched that there are people who care about the game enough to really discuss the mechanics and to really defend the old mechanics, which I felt they're flawed because I saw the tournament. But there were people who really love the old mechanics, and there are people who really get hurt when their favorite weapon gets nerfed. And sometimes I can't believe that it's like this game isn't even done, and people are already connected to the parts, to the guns, to the weapons, to their mechs, and there's already a lot of people itching for a challenge, itching to challenge people over online and wanting to form teams. So that's just our Discord, so I can't imagine what it's like once we get EA out, and I hope you'll all be there with us, and you'll all buy early access. And then now that you have everything that we've completed so far, tell us what you think, help us shape the game, become that game we wanted, that mecha game we wanted. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, there's not been a mecha game for a while, and we were the ones who, we were one of the mecha games that really broke that lull, and I can feel the love and passion from you guys. And yeah, just buy the game and buy the early access. Let's make this game that dream game, that game that brought you guys back from whatever other mecha games you guys liked. I have a lot of names. I think it's funny that whenever people think Garrison Archangel, they say it's Armored Core, it's Custom Robo, it's Gundam versus Gundam, and then they can't seem to agree. They'd even say, no, it's not, it's this. Some even say it's Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and I think that's the charm of this game. Even though it feels like another game, it's still its own thing. The fact that people can't agree over what kind of game it's supposed to take after means we've done our job of making Garrison Archangel its own game. So I hope you guys continue to support us. And yeah, March 28th, it's coming out on March 28th for $15 on Steam. Tell your family and friends, buy one for your family and friends, buy a copy, because we're gonna have online. I did promise a video where we showed our multiplayer in action, but the team still has stuff to iron out, as you could see in this video. But I hope I've piqued your interest and I've answered the questions, especially guys in Discord. And I guess I'll be around in Discord to answer questions. The guys at you guys at Discord, I made that like entire section earlier about you guys. I really am touched. Like, I made that wiki as a joke actually, and because I couldn't organize the lore information I had, I could probably make it a novel or something. But then you guys took over the wiki and started posting information without me doing much, so I'm really thankful. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for today's Wednesday Warzone. Thank you everyone, and please buy the game on early access on March 28th. Just wait for our Steam page Steam store page to come live and just buy it. It's $15. It's customizable, mecha fighting action. You're gonna have online multiplayer, and I've shown you what kinds of weapons and what kinds of builds you can make in this game. I've shown you how our AI is ridiculously overpowered and just reads the input. I swear, but the team the team says it's not reading input, but you saw those perfect dodges, right? Anyway, yeah, it has that really good, really challenging AI. You can fight other people because of multiplayer. You can even couch co-op with friends. We've had tournaments on our demo builds because of this feature. Split screen fighting. You have lots of weapons to choose from. We have a really I can't believe it. We're not even a release game. Our community's tight knit, solid. We have people actively trying to manage our wiki. We have people who've fought in tournaments repeatedly and just keep adding stuff to the game, giving us their feedback, giving us their data. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to on early access. Communities there. The game is the mecha game. It's a mecha game I dreamed of making personally, with all the customization, with all the colors, with all the cool weapons, with the anime style fights. I wasn't able to show you guys, but I actually have anime avatars. I think I posted it on Twitter and Facebook. Discord peeps, you know this. I showed it on the trailer actually, but we made another avatar who was supposed to be the generic pilot. So you actually have 3 avatars to look forward to. I guess I'll post that in a later video, or maybe on one of our channels, our Facebook and Twitter, maybe for White Day, because this third character, the generic pilot, there's a bit of an inside joke, but you'll get it once I release it to the public. So that being said, that was quite long. That was a long ending. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching me get my butt handed to me by the AI, and thank you all for your support. Please continue to support us by the early access Garrison Archangel on March 28, $15. This was Paolore, and this is Wednesday Warzone, signing up.